Okay, guys, we have a test tomorrow over percents. And so this first question, they have given us a price in cents. So it says 85 cents. That's how much apples cost per pound. What fraction is equivalent to that cost? So they've given us a decimal and they want a fraction. Remember that we've learned how to convert between fractions, decimals, and percents. So money, because it's a decimal, we need to think about our place value. The 8 is in the tenths place, and then the 5 is in the hundredths place. And so if we say it as money, it's 85 cents. But if we were to just think about it as just a decimal number, it's 85 hundredths. So that means we can write it as 85 over 100. That also says 85 hundredths. That's not an answer choice because we need to simplify. Now be careful. Some people might want to choose this one because it looks similar. Similar is not good enough in math. It needs to be exact. There's no such thing as 85 in the tenths place because the tenths place can only have one number. So get rid of that answer choice. So this ends in 5 and 0. That means we can divide both of those by 5. 5 goes into 100 20 times, and 5 goes into 85 17 times. So again, be careful here. It has the 17, but 5 doesn't go into 100 50 times. Some people tell me that sometimes, but it doesn't. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. 20 goes in 5 times. So the answer here is 17 over 20. Also be careful. Just because it has an 8 and a 5 and this has an 8 and a 5 doesn't mean that it is equivalent. That's answer for number 1. Number 2, Clear Lake Honda sold 400 vehicles last year. So that's what they sold altogether. We know the percent that were SUVs, but we want to know how many SUVs, not just the percent, but the actual number. So remember, if it has the word percent or a percent sign, we can use a percent box, part, whole, percent over 100. So we know we're talking about vehicles, right? So total vehicles would be the whole. Only part of those vehicles were SUVs. And so the 400 wasn't how many SUVs, it was how many total vehicles. And we always put our percent right there. Then look for your corner number. So this makes an L shape with 100 in the corner. And I see an easy relationship because 100 times 4 is 400. So I just have to do 65 times 4. And it's okay if I don't know that in my head. I can just work it out to the side. And I get that there were 260 SUVs. Remember to check and make sure your answer makes sense. So half of 400 is 200. So if it was 50%, it would be 200. But this is more than 50%, so it should be more than 200, which it is. But if we had gotten an answer smaller than 200, we would want to look at that again. Question number 3. This talks about percent, but we don't need a percent box for this because all it's asking for, it's giving us a percent. It wants it as a decimal. So the number 28, that we don't see the decimal, but we know that it has one. No decimal in sight, put it on the right. And all we have to do is move the decimal 2 times to the left. So it would be 0.28. Easy peasy. Okay, number 4. At the local animal shelter, 40% of the animals are cats. So we know the percent that are cats. We know how many cats there are. There's 24 cats. We want to know how many animals. And it says in all. So we're looking for the total, aka the whole. So the animal shelter doesn't just have cats. We need our percent box. So part of the animals are cats, right? They're not, move this down a little bit. They're not all cats. So total animals would be our whole. And we don't know how many total animals there are. We only know how many cats there are. We're looking for the in all. So that should definitely be blank. We do know that the 40% goes there. Look for your corner number. 40 is in the corner. There's no relationship. Nothing I can divide 40 by to get 24. Nothing I can multiply 40 by to get 100. So I have to simplify. 40 and 100 both end in 0, and that means they're divisible by 10. And an easy way to divide by 10 is just to get rid of those zeros. So now we have 4 and 10. Now I do see a relationship, because 4 times 6 is 24. 10 times 6 is 60. So there's a total of 60 animals at the shelter. Okay, here we've got a model. We want to know what percent of the model is shaded. So I would use a percent box for this one as well. Remember, we've done plenty of percent boxes with shaded models like this. Okay, so the part would be the shaded, because not all of it is shaded, only part of it is shaded. And I would put total squares for the whole. Some people want to put unshaded down there, but remember, they're not all unshaded, and it has to be all of them to go in the whole. Okay, so it's important that we know how many sections we have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 that are shaded, but now we need to know all of them. So we already counted 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. So there's a total of 40, and we want to know the percent. So that's why that one is blank. Just really quick, let's look at our answer choices. A lot of people are going to be drawn to this answer of 22% because there are 22 that are shaded. Remember though, percent is out of 100. There are not 100 squares here. So if it was 22 shaded out of 100, that would be 22%. This is not 22%. Also, something to think about is this less than half shaded or is this more than half shaded? If we draw a line right here down the middle, this right here would be 50%, and we see that it's a little bit more than 50% shaded. There's only one answer choice that's more than 50%, so that right there could have told us the answer. But let's work it out. So we've got 40 as our corner number. Again, there's no relationship. Can't divide by anything, can't multiply over here. But again, we can simplify. Both of those are even, so I can divide by 2, cut them in half. Now I have a relationship because 20 times 5 is 100. I just have to do 11 times 5, which gives me 55%. So like we said, it is more than half, so it does have to be more than 50%. Next question, Candace missed 3 out of 15 questions on her math quiz. What percent did she miss? Okay, so you don't technically have to have a percent box for this one because they gave us a fraction and you could just turn that fraction to a percent. But I still think it's a good idea to do a percent box here because we have the total questions, all the questions on the quiz, but she didn't miss all of them, right? She only missed part of them. She missed 3 out of a total of 15. So we've got our corner number here is 15. And there is a relationship because 15 divided by 5 is 3. So we just have to do 100 divided by 5, which is going to give us 20%. So she missed 20% of the questions. Okay, we've got a poll of 125 people. 75 of them said they like cake. We want to know what percent that would be. So again, it uses the word percentage. So we know that we're talking about a percent problem. Be looking for either a percent sign or a percent or the word percent. Okay, so the poll was of 125 people. So I would put total people or total polled, but they didn't all like cake. Only part of them said they liked cake. Okay, so there were 125 people total and 75 that liked cake. We look for our corner number. It's 125. Can't divide by anything to get 100. Can't divide by anything to get 75. So we're going to have to simplify. You could simplify by 5, but I noticed that 25 goes into both of them. So 25, 50, 75, it goes in 3 times. 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, it goes in 5 times here. Now we have a relationship because 5 times 20 is 100. 3 times 20 is 60. So 60% of the people liked cake. And it is more than half here. 75 would be more than half of that. So you are looking for something more than half. On that last one, I didn't talk about this, but 3 is less than half of 15. So you definitely want something less than 50%. Okay, this last one should be pretty easy for you. You've got 100 grid. So remember, percent is always out of 100. You've got a total of 40 of these shaded. 40 out of 100 is 40%. If you know nothing else, there's only one that says 40%. 400% would be 4 grids that are completely shaded in. 4%, which is what these two say, would only be 4 little squares shaded in. So that one's wrong, that one's wrong, that one's wrong. That leaves this. Let's just double check. 0.40 is 40 hundredths. And again, 40 out of 100, that's the same thing. And then 40 out of 100, you could also simplify, and we could take off this 0 so that it's just 4/10. Each one of these sections is 10, and so that's 1/10 of the whole thing. There's 4 complete sections filled in, 4/10. And again, that's the same thing. 4/10 is the same thing as 40 hundredths, because you could do times 10, times 10. Those are equivalent. And so our answer is A. This one, they all have 4/10, so you know it's that. This says 4 hundredths, so again, that would only be 4 little individual squares shaded in. This is 4 wholes, so that would again would be 4. You'd have to have 4 of these hundreds grids that were all shaded in. And this one is correct, so this one has that one and that one correct, but the wrong percentage. Okay, you may need to re-watch parts of this video, but good luck on your test tomorrow.